The Trump administration is reportedly sending 1,000 more ICE agents to Minnesota. Why? This, to me, is the definition of strong and wrong. And I know MAGA folk are saying now they're going to find out. I believe that's asking for more violence. And you better remember that when the enemies that you are so desperate to create make life difficult for you for saying it, or for your families. You're playing a stupid and dangerous game. And I know, because I'm stuck in the game. I get the threats. My family has paid the price for my presence in this Thunderdome. And it is only getting worse. This is all just more reason why I reject our poison party politics. You want to know what happened during this shooting in Minnesota? You need to see one video, the ICE agent's camera. Here it is in full.
Change our plates every morning, just so you know. It'll be the same plate when you come talk to us later. That's fine. U.S. citizen, former fucking guy. You want to come at us? You want to come at us? I say go get yourself some lunch, big boy. Go ahead.
Out of the car. Get out of the fucking car. Get out of the car. Whoa! Fucking bitch.
After watching this, yes, he never drops his cell phone. I double down on my position that the legal analysis of the shooting is the least difficult aspect of what's going on here. Both the ICE agent and Renee Good appear to contribute to the problem. For Good, she is clearly commanded to stop and get out before she attempts to drive off. We see that. And while the video, again, demonstrates what we can see from other angles, which is what? She turns her wheels away from the officer. Despite that fact, there is, judging from his camera angle and others we've seen, contact. However, the officer was not run over, okay? He doesn't even drop his phone and has time to shoot at a direct angle and take her out with a headshot, which I think he knew. Why? I'll tell you in a second. For the ICE agent, he may not have been aware that she turned the wheels and wanted to get away because he made the choice to walk in front of the vehicle multiple times. Again, agents are trained not to do this because you're creating risk. Doing that creates the circumstances that led to blocking the car. He also appears to move as there is contact, right? Why do I say appears? Because he doesn't fall, he doesn't get run over, and he has the ability to shoot because he stepped out of the way. Now, why do I repeat that point when it's so obvious? Because our president decided to say otherwise, and many are relying on what he said wrongly. So the question becomes, why did he fire? Was he pissed at the other lady with the phone? It goes to state of mind. It takes us to what he said on his own camera. After shooting her in the head and killing her, he says this.
Fucking bitch.
Yeah, I think he says what you think he says. Here it is again.
Fucking bitch.
Okay. Be an ugly suggestion to make, if that's not what he said. But he said what you think he said. Context. The key here for me is not the language, okay? It goes to state of mind. This is the response of the officer, who then does not even go pursue the victim in the vehicle as it crashes. Why? The reasonable inference is he knew he shot the unarmed mother in the head, likely killed her, hence didn't rush over to the vehicle, as you would assume, as he is trained to do. Instead, his reaction is what you heard. Now, you can cherry pick details, and federal investigators will have to justify whatever conclusions they draw. But there is something very troubling about how people are choosing to see Renee Good, this 37-year-old woman, who tells the agent she isn't angry at him. Remember, she's not the one baiting him. That's this other person, okay? Renee Good is the one who waved past the ICE vehicle. She waved them to go past. She smiles. She says, "I'm not mad at you." I don't know what she meant, and we never will. But I see her smiling. I see a dog in the back seat in a car reportedly carrying gifts for her kids with stickers on the back window that some say are her radical affiliations. Look online. What we see are national parks and family memories. This is how narrative destroys nuance and fact. How can you watch what I just showed you and see this person as worthy of condemnation as a domestic terrorist? Really? You seen a lot of jihadis or Antifa types with dogs in the back seat, smiling and saying what she said to officers? Really? I have to go back to Ashley Babbitt, not to compare which is worse, because they are both tragedies that should have never happened. But we must look at why they are seen so differently and what the truth of why they're seen differently is. Babbitt was participating in an attack on the Capitol and is there as they crush a cop, and she is a hero. Renee Good, the same people believe, is a radicalized psycho. That sounds like radicalization to me. How can you want the cop at the Capitol to get the book thrown at him and demand no charges in Minnesota? Do you see how wrong that is? Are you really that committed to being for a side that you're surrendering being a human being? Again, I'm not comparing the two. They are both tragedies, although there are a lot of similarities in the legal analysis. It's not only bad when a situation affects one of yours. Do you know why? Because they're both yours. The reaction to the shooting is as egregious as the shooting itself in a way. You cannot really defend painting this victim as too many would like. This has to be a turning point. You know it is wrong. Not it's wrong that he shot. Let the investigators decide. I'm fine with that. I've taken you through what I see and what the test is. What's wrong, unjustifiably by any measure, is the reaction. And all I hear is people desperate to create more of it. Even if the shooting is justified because of Renee Good's panic to flee in fear, or whatever her motivation was, even if it's justified, it has to be a moment where we realize something has to change. The officer had a split second, really, to make a choice, right or wrong. And you know what I think. I've been telling you since it happened. We have had days, not a split second, and still so many are insistent that this dead mother is a demon. And now the president has decided to send an even stronger provocation. And no, I do not believe you can convince me reasonably that needing 3,000 officers on the ground to do immigration work in Minnesota is warranted at this time in this situation. I do not believe you can look at this and discount the fact that it is increasing the chance of more violence. Now, you have to tell me, why is that okay? Oh, because if they're not going to respect law enforcement, then what? Then what? Then what? Then what? Well, then we're a banana republic? That we become what we've always opposed? That they should all get shot, they should all get their asses beat? Is that really who you want to be and what you want to be about? Until it's your people in front of the police, right? Look, this is going to happen to both sides the more people agitate for violence against what they oppose. Who will offer us something better than FAFO? Wherever you are, the time to make a stand is now, because we are killing ourselves, literally and figuratively. Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.